All right, what's going on, everyone on YouTube? This is essentially just going to be a quick chat that I am going to have with my first client from First Class Setter. So, if you guys don't know, First Class Setter is my appointment setting program where I essentially help you quit your 9 to 5. And luckily enough, Calvin, you were the first one to go through it. So, yeah, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions that is essentially going to walk people through like what your experience was like, where you're at now, and where you're trying to get to. So, kind of walk me through, dude. Like, where were you at the very beginning when you first found me, how you found me, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so I found you about 3 months ago. During that time, I was a full student, still am a full time student. I was working part time at a gym, making about $800 a month. Um, since then, about 2 months ago, you helped me get my first appointment setting role. Um, and yeah, here I am.
The rest is history, I guess, right?
Yeah, I
So,
guess so.
yeah, man. You are now partnered up with a coaching offer that essentially helps people that are in the corporate world level up to the executive and C-suite level, correct? So you're dealing with more sophisticated audiences. And remind me right now, like what's the price point of the offer that you're working?
$7,500.
7,500. So extremely high ticket, I would consider. Funny enough, like I work an $8,000 offer, so you're not that far off, right? Um, Walk me through like what your first month looked like as an appointment setter. So obviously we went through, the trial and error of getting you ready to become an appointment setter. Um, we could talk about that after, but in terms of the actual conversion from just going from somebody who has never worked appointment setting or online jobs at all, how was that transition? Was it fairly simple for you?
It was simple. I will say, however, the first month is a little slow. Um, it's just kind of important to keep in mind, though, that you're setting the foundation for what's to come after. The first month, I think we only closed 3 people that I set, and so far this month, we're recording this on the 17th. We've closed 11 people so far, so
Yeah. So yeah,
it's just
we could definitely talk about like numbers at the end because the numbers are insane right now from based on what you told me before the call. So super proud of you, dude. I think it's kind of insane, really thinking back as to like where you were, where you are now. But yeah, man. So that first month, you essentially got over a learning curve, correct? But one of the most important things that you did that we do with every single student now is making sure that you know the business owner like the back of your hand, right? I remember they made you go through the course
Mhm.
and they made you learn the language. How much of an effect do you think like that had on the actual appointment setting stuff?
Oh, it was huge. Like you said, the first month they made me go through the course that they had set up. Had me watch all of his reels, his YouTube channel, everything. Which was it's really important because at the end of the day you're essentially impersonating this person. So it's important that you kind of understand how they speak, how they present themselves, etc., etc. So it was really important.
Yeah, it's funny, man, because like I think that was one of the biggest moves that has helped you, and has helped you as quick as you have as well. Funny enough, Tom, the business owner that you're working with, he's always praising, how much of a killer you are inside of the DMs. But that did not happen by accident, right? It was like a lot of, tough times I had to go through, which is doing that, right? Watching all the content, especially if they have a lot of content to indulge. So you get to the point where you have to essentially get annoyed of hearing their voice, but that is essentially what makes you a 1% setter, in my opinion. So yeah, walk me through your first month. Obviously, you had mentioned to me like you made a couple of closes. What did that look like in terms of actual cash?
The first month, so like I said, the offer's $7,500. I get $500 per person that they close.
Hmm.
So I believe it was I think it was 3 people that they closed. So I made $1,500 that first month.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing too crazy, but like I said, it's important that you stay consistent and just know that what you do in that first month kind of sets you up, for the following months.
Yeah. And talk to me a little bit about that now, right? So that was the very first month. What did the next month look like for you?
Yeah, like I said, it's only the 17th right now, and they've closed 11 people that I've set, so things are definitely looking good.
Yeah, compared to the first one. What does that like actually translate to in terms of cash?
Right now, I'm at $7,000 for this month, and
Gotcha.
like I said, we're only halfway through, so
Yeah, and I'd imagine you have the rest of the calendar kind of packed out, right? So we have another half of the month to go. Does that sound kind of accurate?
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's really just about staying consistent, and there's gonna be days where you don't want to do anything, but you just gotta keep your foot on the gas pedal and keep firing out DMs. Even if it's slow, just know that things are eventually going to turn around, and one way or another, people are going to start to book in, and hopefully the sales team is going to eventually close them.
Yeah. On that topic, kind of like any other job, people, you get the same feeling, right? Like sometimes you just kind of want to have like a lazy day, right? Literally anybody in any job doesn't matter. I have those days as well. How easy is it for you to get past that being an appointment setter? Obviously, I mean, I think you might want to like confirm that for me, but how would you rate appointment setting on like the difficulty spectrum? Is it hard or what would you consider that?
It's definitely not hard. It's more just it's 7 days a week, 24/7. You wake up, you answer DMs. Before you go to bed, you fire off a few DMs.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as demanding as a real world job, I guess, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's the it's more just convenient, I guess.
Yeah, right. So talk to me a little bit about that, like the benefit that you've gained from appointment setting. Cool. The money's very, very cool, obviously. But I guess on the other side of life, how has that benefited you? How has that like freed up your time? You can give me like specific scenarios as well that you've really noticed where it's helped you.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, I used to work at a gym part time, so that I was probably there about 20 hours a week. Nothing crazy, just trying to make some money on the side as I'm being a full time student. So really, just like not having to go to that job has been huge because now I have an extra 20 free hours where I can do whatever I want or get ahead of my homework or assignments or whatever. So that in itself has honestly been the biggest factor, I guess.
Yeah. That's wild, man. I definitely agree with you. I mean, that was kind of the same situation with me, where I mean, I worked like a full time job, so it was different, right? I wasn't even working a part time job, but appointment setting allowed that to happen for me, and yeah, I'd imagine it'll do the same for anybody who decides to kind of get into a really good role and a really good offer. So I will say, you have definitely crushed it. You have blown past my expectations. You've definitely reached what I like to call the 1% setter category. Okay, because I was doing that. I still am doing that amount, but for you, it definitely seems like it's going to continue on, right? It's going to stay consistent. Um, yeah, I can just go on and on about like the program and stuff that you're partnered with because they have very good content, very good like marketing system. So that way, like you're not essentially like having to go and find the leads yourself. So I do want to kind of preface this that we only really deal with like inbound leads, right? And Calvin, you can kind of attest to this, but we're not essentially like knocking on doors online. We're not going out of our way to go find them. And rather, people are coming directly to the account. And what are you really doing there, Calvin? I mean, you're just having a simple conversation, correct?
Yeah, it's a pretty simple process. It's really just being conversational and then identifying a problem, qualifying them, and then eventually making a pitch to hop on a call.
Yeah, you summed it up there perfectly. It's like literally the three-step framework right there. What do you think you're
Yeah.
going to close out the month at, Calvin? If obviously I'd imagine at this point you're going to really turn on the jets and try to make it happen, but what's a number you're shooting for? Is there anything in particular you're after?
I mean, I'm definitely shooting it for 10K a month. I mean, just given the offer I'm on and just given my leaders that I'm working with, I honestly don't see a world where that can't be the new norm.
Yeah, I love that, dude. That's so awesome. Um, Let me ask you this, like obviously you're an appointment setter now. If I am not mistaken, there was also some sort of an opportunity for you to kind of dip your toes into the next kind of skill or whatever that looks like, right? And I'm referring to sales, right? And obviously because you have what you have going on with like college and whatnot, I'm completely okay with the setting and what's going on there. But that was something that was an option to you, correct?
Yeah, I mean the people that I work for, they briefly, have brought it up to me, and it's still something. If I eventually want to transition into that closer role, I think I would have the opportunity to.
Mhm.
Just right now being a full time student, I'm kind of comfortable with where I'm at, but we'll see. Definitely
Yeah.
not closing that door. So
Right. I think the most important thing to identify there is the fact that you got that opportunity. And that is something I'm very much going to try and drive home to anybody looking to break into the online space, right? Because everybody is always looking for how to become a part of it. But the problem is that people really don't understand the differences between not having a network and having a network. And you have the network now, right? But how did you get it is the most important part that I really want to highlight to everybody watching is you put your foot in the door by learning a very simple skill and then accessing a network. And that has essentially been it has given you the unlimited potential that you kind of are looking for, you were looking for. Um, so tell me this, man. Like, do you feel like starting an online business, if you ever wanted to get there, is far fetched from you as it was when you weren't a part of this industry?
no, definitely not. I mean, like you said, it's really about acquiring a skill first before you go out and start an agency, or an online business or whatever.
Mm,
You really need to set the foundation and get those valuable skills before you decide to venture off on your own. If you do decide to do that, which who knows?
yeah. Even if you didn't want to, I mean, like I'm pretty sure you're still living good, like you're making good enough, right?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of opportunity in front of you, and it's ultimately a decision there at that point. And a lot of people don't get to that point that they can't actually make that decision, right? Which is what is best for them. Do they have the skills to be able to, grow and actually start something that is of value rather than, watching an SMMA video and then trying to go start it, right? So I'm glad you came to that realization, man. I am extremely proud of you. Like I mentioned before, you like blew my expectations. Yeah, man. I mean, what's next for you? What's next for Calvin? I guess kind of walk me through what you're looking for the rest of the year, maybe in the future. What does that look like?
Rest of the year, really just trying to finish up my degree here. In terms of setting, just trying to hit that 10K a month, goal that I have in mind. Which, like I said, really good offer that I'm on. So I just honestly don't see why that's not within reach.
Yeah, so like 10K a month consistently throughout the year is kind of what you're imagining.
Hopefully, time will tell. I,
Yeah.
I haven't hit it yet, but um, yeah.
No doubt in my mind that you're gonna hit it soon, dude. Even if, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be this month. If I'm being honest, like you have half a month left. So yeah, man. I mean, do you have any other like last minute things to throw out there? We kind of went over everything where you started. Uh, Anything?
Yeah, I guess just like I said earlier, it's all about staying consistent. There's going to be days where you don't want to do anything, but like I said, my first month wasn't great. It was only three people that I set. I actually closed, but just know that what you do that first month and all the months following just kind of sets you up for the future, I guess.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Cool, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you honestly coming on here. I know you're like super busy now, which is funny because it wasn't hard to get you on a call, back then when we first started, but now it's kind of getting a little difficult. But dude, I appreciate you taking this call nonetheless, and yeah, kind of walking everybody through what your journey looked like, right? Like I can't think of a better story. Like you literally had a three-figure job, not even a four-figure job, and then now you're very close to cracking the 10K a month mark. So I'm super happy for you, dude. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you keep growing. And yeah, man, appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Couldn't have done it without you.
All right, man, sounds good. We're gonna go ahead and end it here. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and it gave you a little bit of an outlook onto what appointment setting actually looks like and the potential that it has. So, I'll go ahead and probably throw in like a call to action at the end here. All right, Calvin, thank you, man.